Hello and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of laws of exponents. This is standard A.11B in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 10 of the 2023 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. Alright, so we've got just a simple expression, x to the 3/7 power, and then that is squared. Alright, so let's pull out our reference materials, and if we want to find our laws of exponents, or properties of exponents, we'll find it right there, that top section. So first we need to identify which one are we actually talking about, which law of exponent can we use in this particular situation. Let's open this up here. And so what we'll see here is, the product of powers is not going to be useful because we don't have two different bases that are multiplied by themselves. We don't necessarily need that one. Quotient of powers, we don't have two different bases dividing. We only have one base, right? So that x right there, this is called our base. That's the big number. So we only have one base, and what's happening to it? Well, the base is being raised to a power, and that is being raised to a power. That looks like this third one right here. Power of a power. Okay, so that's a to the m power, and then taken to the n power is just the same as multiplying those two, m times n. Whereas if you do the product of powers, you see that a to the m times a to the n ends up just adding the two powers, right? So there's a difference if it's power of a power versus the product of powers. All right, so let's just take our x to the 3/7 squared. All right, so we can just substitute in, right? So our a is going to equal x, right? This m was going to be that very first power, that 3/7, and then our n is going to equal 2. So if that's the case, right, then I can just say x, and I'm just going to multiply those two. I'm going to write it like this, 3/7 times 2. All right, so maybe a little bit confusing because you're wondering exactly how you multiply that. Remember, when we multiply two numbers, if they're fractions, you just multiply straight across. If they're not fractions, you can make any whole number a fraction by putting it over 1. So now we just multiply straight across. 3 times 2 is 6. 7 times 1 is 7. So it looks like we're going to get 6/7. So it's going to be x to the 6/7. And it's strange to have a fraction in there, but we're just going to leave it like that. It does look like we have an option here at C. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just plug in, let's say x equals, 1's not going to do us much good, so let's say x equals 2. Okay, so we're going to open up our calculator, and let's just open this back up so we can take a few notes. Let's figure out if x equals 2, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to hit our parentheses, hit 2 as our base. Now to get that exponent, we're going to hit that caret button right up there. And then we need, right, a fraction. So let's do the original, 3/7. And then we're going to get that big parentheses again, and then let's square it. Okay, so what is the original? Okay, it's that 1, that's 1.811. Okay, now we think that our 6 to the 7th, so let's try that. We're going to have our base of 2, and we're going to hit our alpha to get the fraction, 6/7, and let's hit enter. And look at that, it's exactly the same. So these two are equivalent expressions. My answer is C.